Puharic. I'm here kind of giving you a little intro to the SUPSKATE model board we have here for endurance longboarding. We got the Endurance 60 to kind of show you guys off. It's got nice new coloring on that deck with new design. You got your adjustable front trucks with optional holes, so you can always adjust it, fine tune it towards your shape. That back truck as well gives you multiple options in what you do. Typically people keep that back truck as far back as possible. With this board though, with the Endurance, it changed around with the trucks. So the SUPSKATE has the 40 degree, and we want that degree and soft springs kind of going, so you get both carved from tail and nose. And with the Endurance board and the skate pulling version, you're really going for distance, maintaining a speed, so you kind of don't want that back truck swinging all over you, especially when you get into the pumping aspect, but we'll get there. Originally right here, we got the 40 degree truck here. You got your wider truck, your wider hanger up back here. And when you get to the back, you've got your 0 degree and shorter hanger, so it keeps it nice and stable and gives you that base so that that tail's not gonna sling out when you start that wiggle pump as well. That way you can get as far up to the nose as you want without having any concern on that back tail sliding out from underneath you. When you get onto that board, when you stand, a lot of people riding their normal boards get their normal stance, depending on your regular or goofy. I'm regular, so I ride this way. When I usually stand and paddle, got my front foot almost to where my toes are near that wheelbase, and that back foot's towards that middle of the board. And if you get your pull, you want to get a nice adjustable height. Don't want it too large, because you do want a nice strike. I find that bottom half of the forearms a really good size. Right here, I've got 23 pretty much marked on me. So basically when you get up, you got that nice stance, kind of point your toes a little more forward, because you're going to be going forward. You'd want to turn your hips as much as possible so that you maintain and you're able to switch as well. But when you're doing this, if you do want to turn your legs, get a nice sturdy balance. Hand's going to get nice and low to the middle, just underneath that grip. We got these different sizes here. This one's a large, so 5'9", 6'2", I'm 6'1", and I'm riding it a little shorter anyways. But that handle fits nice and comfortable in your hand. You're gonna, when you pull forward, strike near the front wheel, and as you're pushing, push down that hand as well. You get that flex, it'll propel you off. So that's pretty much your standard paddle when you're just skate pulling along. Very, very mellow. When you're racing, you got your options of your normal thing, kind of give you a break. Then you kind of get really stressed out on one side. If you're going for long distances, 10 miles, 20 plus, so on and so forth, you really don't want to be stressing one side. You want to be able to use all of your body and both muscles, so you give the rest of your body a rest. So you'll see a lot of people, when they get really into it, you get a nice balance, almost like supping. You kind of want both feet pointing the same direction. I like to keep that back foot heel in the middle and that toe getting a little closer to the edge so I can control the lean if I do hit a little bit of a wobble. But that front foot's gonna keep that truck nice and sturdy so you still maintain a nice and straight line. And then you can really paddle and dig in where you can get a little shorter stroke and really dig and grind your way forward. Say if it's windy or you got an uphill, nice short strokes, just go from there to the halfway back of the board. Next stance you go through, if you get tired with that arms, you can't always do arms. Best thing about these SUPSKATE models, and being that you have the 40 up front with that longer hanger, you can get up and it's almost like this serpentine motion. So a lot of boards or surf skates have that serpentine motion where you get that pump going and it just maintains momentum, because enough force you put in the turn, and by the time you come back to the middle and then match it on the other side, it propels you forward. So if you're nice here on the top, a lot of people, you want to get that front foot as far over that hanger as you want. So I usually like to cover all 4 of my screws, and that other foot I put right here towards that S on the SUPSKATE. I'll turn towards you guys so you can see it better. So you kind of want this, and then that wiggle is just going to be a hip swing, and you got your knees rolling. And then that back hanger being shorter and a 0 degree, it's going to keep that tail nice and stable. So your front trucks are actually going to be moving up the pavement as you're doing this, as you're rolling. Those wheels are pulling more pavement forward. And then after that, a lot of people pretty much do wiggle, stance. And if you go from nice stance forward, if you go like this, and you turn, get that wiggle, it's a lot easier to switch when you go like this. So if you go a wide stance facing the opposite way, you're not gonna be able to switch up a lot easier. You kind of wanna be a short stance anyways when you're going for those long distances. And this is different few models here with the SUPSKATE 2. This is the Endurance 60. So the longer the model, if you're taller, you're gonna get a lot more power off that nose. With a shorter person, you're gonna maybe wanna go with the Endurance 45. That way, when you get into that pumping and wiggling, you don't have all that weight in the back to try to get the momentum. With the height, you kind of have a little leverage in that lean when you're swinging your body weight over, because you're really throwing your weight to one side of the truck and it's pulling your board one way. With that 45, being shorter, you don't really have a lot of height pulling one direction, so it's a lot easier to get that move in a shorter board. And now we'll go into a quick little paddle, kind of show you how to start off. A lot of people always want to start with just pull. They see, oh, pull, skate pulling, just stand on it and pull. But if you see me how I got on, I'm already kind of shaky on my balance. I don't really know where I want to stand. You've got two ways to start. You've got your regular people, and I'm a little different. I ride Mongo, so I step on with my back foot forward. A lot of people ride front foot forward. So if you ride front foot forward, you want to get 1 or 2 pushes off, and then you're back and drive that pull. You've already got your momentum really going at that point. So now as we come back, I'll do it from my stance. I'll push that Mongo, and up the back foot, I usually keep it right in that middle, keep a nice balance. I don't really get anywhere. You just do 1, 2, and that's all the momentum I needed to maintain it with the pole, and I start building my speed up. When you push, you drive that bottom hand down, and you can see a lot of flex in that bottom of the pole as well. So that's where it really gets your momentum going. The difference between this and just pushing, so yeah, you can push and pull along all you want, but if you're pushing and if you ride Mongo like me, your front foot's coming off that truck. If you hit a certain speed, you're going like this, your balance can be messed up, board goes one way, it leans the opposite way. If you ride front foot, it's kind of weird. You might kick the board back or go out forward from underneath you. With that pull, it kind of takes the position of that foot and moves the board without even ever changing your foot stance. You can kind of get more comfortable on it, really get into it, and then you don't have to worry about your feet ever, about the balance, because your balance is already set. Your center of gravity is always going to be where it is once you step up. The second you take your foot off, you're changing your center of gravity. So I can do this and pull along. I can get up front, drive, switch hands. You want to make sure you're going nice and tight, but you don't want to catch a wheel or anything. Some people have caught the front wheel. You get a little tunnel vision once you get a little exhausted. Just make sure you're going wide enough and get a nice flex. So we got your normal stance with your side. You can really turn your body and get a long stroke. You got your nose stance where you got a drop foot and you're gonna pull along. And that's where you really start getting into the endurance part. If you're going long distance, you want the option of switching hands. And then when that gets tiring, the triceps, the shoulders, they start screaming at you like, hey, we're getting to that point. A lot of the endurance guys will switch to the wiggle. And you can see how I did one push and I haven't even slowed or done anything. Just that wiggle. You drive that little front truck forward, that back truck staying nice and sturdy, and you just wiggle your way through. Keep that momentum going. And that, guys, is pretty much your intro to SUPSKATE. Any other thing, pretty much you'll learn as you go. Everything after that becomes preference based. And like if you move the front truck back from these front spots and move it towards the middle or these back spots, you're gonna be able to stand a little farther away from the nose on that wiggle. So if you're not a little sketchy from being up too far on the nose, you can move it back, get comfortable. And then when you really wanna put it up front though, the farther up on that board when you do wiggle, the more momentum you're gonna be able to maintain with the higher elevated speed as well. That is it, guys. Got your SUPSKATE Endurance 60, your adjustable pole, wind, hills, you can adjust the height to kind of do it. You want a shorter pole to get through tougher sections, that longer pole if you want to stand, kind of relax, and do a nice easy cruise. And there you have it, guys.